Why are we so obsessed by fragrance? There's few reasons. It's not just about, oh, people are gonna think I'm smelling good. It's also about the connection that we have with it. The sense of smell is deeply connected to one part of the brain that is responsible for memories. So we associate smell to a lot of memories, and this creates a special connection with your fragrance. And this is something that in marketing we're trying to stimulate into the customer's mind, for example, but also makes the fragrance art even more artistic. So I do love that, and today I wanted to show you 10 of my fragrances that I will keep for life, mainly because of the memories that it triggers. So it's gonna be like a lot of little memories that I'm gonna share with you. Just a note, I don't say that often to a video, so I feel, once. If you want to support the channel, feel free to hit the like button. This is really helpful, and subscribe to my channel if you're new here. See my face more often. For those who want to support even more, you've got my Utip account, which is something that you can give me a little tip. It's really helpful and really appreciate it. It helps the channel to grow, so thank you so much for those ones. Anyway, let's start. Baby Doll Yves Saint Laurent. This is a discontinued fragrance now. It's really nice for spring, basically. It's funny, it's like pineapple mainly, so it's quite not often when we get pineapple in a fragrance like this, except you're Aventus, but you're not Aventus, aren't you? Just crazy. I do always think about it as my first scent in memory, because my mom used to have those beautiful white dressing table. Whenever she would go to work, I would run in her room, sit down in those beautiful dressing table, and she knows about that. I was like sneaking around, looking at all her accessories and trying to replicate anything that I could do with makeup. And there was always this one on a dressing table. I would spray it and be like, oh, I want to be like this when I be a grown-up and stuff. So it's full of like not illusion but hopes. Whenever I feel a bit candid and I want to feel relaxed, then I would spray this, and it would remind me of the time where I used to play the adult without the responsibilities, which is nice. Time traveling a little bit. Parisienne YSL. So as you can see, there's a lot of YSL. It's one of my the house that I always enjoyed for some reason. Like it's like Chanel. I always was attracted to Yves Saint Laurent fragrance. First of all, because I think the packaging of the fragrance always been super cute, always smelled classy but slightly bit different as well, and a bit trendy. I was in high school. It was really on trend to wear this fragrance, so I fell into the trend. It was the time where I was doing my first parties and I was like spraying this like a crazy, voila, and it's very intense. If I want to rejuvenate, then I would spray a bit of that. Repetto by Repetto. This is the Eau de Toilette. This is the cutest, but it's a slightly powdery, fruity floral fragrance with a little bit of pear note. It was a few years after, and I started to study into the perfumery world. And I had one internship with the brand, well, the group Interparfum that works with a lot of different brands. And it was the launch of this fragrance, and I was there in Sephora and different perfumery, like hosting the launch of this fragrance. The start of something new. I was just out of university. I've studied psychology, philosophy, and modern literature, which has not been a success. So I was a bit lost, and I was like, what should I do with my life? And then this happened, and then I was like, okay, I know what I want to do with my life. Baiser volé. So this was kind of around the same year. One of the Sephora that I was working in, because I had few point of sale. I was basically like doing events and stuff over there. Sephora was nice enough to say, well, you've been working really nice, so we want to thank you. So choose a fragrance, and I've chosen Cartier Baiser Volé. This is a white florals, especially lily, and a little bit of a greener scent. And this is where I started to realize that I wanted to smell different. Yeah, everyone was wearing Coco Mademoiselle, and I was like, I want something different. I found this one, and for me that was elegance, simplicity, and that's where I realized that, okay, I need to explore more. Citizen Queen Julieta Again in this kind of same first years. I had a training with the brand Julieta Again. They were telling me like what's the new fragrance in town and stuff like that. I've chosen to get this fragrance because it smells a bit like a number 5 but very modern. It's very different, like you can't wear that every day. It's like a bit like this vintage style but really modernized. And I remember it was when I was working in Galerie Lafayette, and this is the time when me and my boyfriend decided to move to London, and we literally sold everything and then just go to London with 2 luggage. This fragrance followed me in London, and it was like a very big decision in my life. I was gonna leave all my friends, all my family, my work. I was gonna leave everything to go to London. So every time I wear that, I'm like, oh wow, yes, that was quite of a time, and I always remember that when I spray it. It's quite funny. Manifesto Yves Saint Laurent. So I think I told this story quite a few times. I definitely know that I've told it to my French audience on my French channel. My signature scent actually during my study, vanilla, but it's got a DNA that you never smelled anywhere, and it was really intoxicating. So whenever I would enter in the classroom, people would stare at me, which and be like, oh, Clemence has entered the building. We had white blouses, so we had no way to show our difference with our clothes. So I was showing my difference with the perfume, intoxicating everyone, amazing. And I was a pain in the ass during that year. I was the kind of like annoying student in the school, like very rebellious. It was terrible. But I was a really good student, but that's maybe why I was allowing myself to be a real pain in the ass. And the fragrance was really matching my vibe at this moment. At some point I decided to not wear it anymore. I was in a relationship with a guy, which was my longest relationship. It was a catastrophe, let's face it. Was not really very sane relationship, you know, for me at least. Definitely. One day, like, we went back from a club and we went back to our home, which was not really my home because it was the home of his ex and his, but he was saying it was my home now, which was really strange. He, as usual, started to tell me like I've done something wrong, trying to fight for no reason. Me was trying to avoid any fight. Was really difficult, and that day I was a little bit tipsy and I was like, I had enough. I had enough of you creating drama on my life. Why are you doing that? And of course this person who is victimizing himself for me decided to take back my life and run away, but run away like at 3 or 4 a.m. in the middle of the night to go to my student apartment. So imagine someone with no coat, a mini dress, the rain, me completely soaked in, and walking during like 30 minutes to go to my flat. Trust me, 30 minutes is not a lot, but this time was way too much. I never been that petrified of my life. And I think I cried during a few days after. It was really traumatizing. And I was even so cold that day because it was middle of winter. I was starting to sing things, to tell you. So, and this smell, whenever I was walking and running to save my fucking life, I'm a bit dramatic there, but it was a bit down. I was smelling that, and this completely stopped me from wearing it. So now when I smell it, I still enjoy the smell, but I really can't wear it anymore. I love it. It's so sexy though. Terracotta from Guerlain. Let's go to more happy memories, shall we? Yeah. One of my summer scents. This was one of the fragrances I've bring on my holiday with my friends. So you've seen quite a few video on with them on vlogs. We went in Napoli, in Italy. We went to Capri. So we had really a nice moment. We were fighting like kids. We rented a villa on top of Napoli, which was amazing. And I think this was the most dramatic holidays I had. But all my life is a drama with those people. So I really enjoyed it. I love them so much. But even when we started, it was starting as a drama. I remember like we got lost in the hills to like find the villa the first day. So at some point we were so lost that we basically stopped in some kind of a place and in the hills, and we were like, we're never gonna find this villa. And me, I was already giving up, so I opened the car trunk and got the bottle of champagne that we were supposed to open in the villa, and I sat down in the middle of the road and I was like, I want to go to home. And it ended up with a massive fight between each other, which is fine, we are totally fine, but what a holidays. I'm back, and Marigold, it's a blooming fragrance, a bit like spring, sunny jasmine flower. Jasmine sambac is always the most creamy and sunny. You know when people say new hair, new you? Well, that was for me new fragrance, new you. So I just broke up with my ex-boyfriend. It was really hard because I was left alone, kind of in a city I didn't know, which was London, alone. I had to find a new flat, I had to find new friends. I bought that, and this is really the scent of a renewal. To be honest, during those years, new me was not that great. I was literally partying a lot. I had a lot of fun, so I'm not gonna complain. But yeah, so it really reminds me of those eccentric, funny years, the partying in London, which was absolutely crazy. I used to party whole nights in Heaven. It's a gay nightclub. Best moment over there, and then would go because Heaven was literally next door my work. So and then I would go to work without having sleeping, and then the night we would go to Shoreditch, or we would go to Camden to listen to some rock and roll and do something again crazy. Crazy yes, but that's why I adore this town. It's so funny. You can do anything. So the title says it all. It's a vanilla fragrance, ultra powdery by Zadig & Voltaire. I always got like a nice compliment, and actually got just a little bit left because I've used it a lot. I really like it. It makes me think of my best friend. After all this mess, you know, I've met Rin, and she was working with me back in the time. Friendship crush. We would go out a lot, and she had organized this day in a castle, and because she knew I loved castle so much, but she does love to do some museum too. An amazing day together. Had my first English tea time. With coins and tea. So funny, because on that day there was a lot of actors and actresses. Actually, they were filming something. It was this guy that was playing King Henry VIII, or I don't remember. We went to say hello, to take a picture with him, and we're starting to flirt, and my friend was like, are you flirting with Henry VIII? I was like, yeah, totally, mate. This fragrance always reminds me of that day. Had so much fun. It was like literally our little escape from work together. Yeah, so voilà. Last one is a Piano Santal from l'Orchestre Parfum. This is where I started to really be in the niche, like niche fragrances. It's sandalwood, which I always love, this sharp, slightly smoky, it's not really smoky, a sandalwood, but it's more like a dry note. A creamy note with milky note. And I adore Piano Santal. I wear it really often when I want to give this very chic, alluring style, but also quite essential. Because I remember I wore that for a date. Yeah. Like we were trying to guess the perfume we were wearing. And he was going like really close to me and was like, oh, that smells nice, you know. Oh, and me, I was smelling him and be like, oh. And he was wearing Atelier Cologne, Tobacco Nuit, which fantastic on men, guys. Yeah, I don't really care about the man anymore. It's just when I smell that, I remember that it's this sensual touch of the fragrance. But yeah. I want to hear about your story. Give me a fragrance and give me a memory according to it. Please, I want to know. I want to listen to your cute stories. And maybe one day we would do like this kind of video with your story. Imagine, that would be quite cute. I enjoyed the first day of springs. It's kind of really nice actually. I think I'm gonna have a walk outside with Bunny. Have a lovely day and I see you soon. Bye now.
Je t'emmène dans mon paradis bleu.